until all this started. And I haven't said much about it. And the funny thing about it is that somebody, it might even have been Chad himself, said this started as a political issue. Well, he started it as a political issue. I haven't said anything about this except for the fact that he came up here, just like Mr. Griesbach just said, and to put a second SRO on, wanted half the money while he's going to be at the school 7 to 8 months a year. We disagreed with it. And that's how this all started. And so we'll show you, and they hired a pay Karen officer who doesn't have any police powers. It's no more there than he would if he was in Pleasant Hills. Jumping past that, because that's where this all got started. And suddenly, there was not enough money to pay one Monroeville SRO at the Monroeville, what I still call Monroeville Junior High, and suddenly they have enough money to start their whole police department. That's what I didn't get. There was an argument about 50 and 75% on one guy. And suddenly, a whole police department has started. And it was started out of haste because we wouldn't be sitting here talking about the incidents that we are talking about if it would have got together and been planned. Because if anybody knows the laws, like Chief Cole, everybody's talking about the Monroeville police officers not issuing a citation. They can't issue a citation. Someday, maybe somebody will go read the rules of criminal procedure and find out the fact that the state law says you have to see it to issue a summary citation, or do an investigation and file it, meaning mail it to the magistrate. If you don't see it, that's the way it has to be done. I've only done it for 25 and a half years, and I'm just telling you that nobody here did their homework before they came up and started talking about the Monroeville Police issuing citations. They couldn't do it. They didn't see the offense. Now, when and if the Gateway Police Department gets their numbers, and if this would have all been planned right, we wouldn't be having offenses and talking about them not having ORI numbers, not being able to issue citations, because it wasn't done right to begin with. And it's been piecemealed all along. The whole thing, oops, forgot that, oops, forgot that, oops, forgot that, then here comes the Monroeville Police, and they're at fault for not making arrests. When they exactly followed the law. They didn't see it, so they have to investigate it, and then mail the citations. They can't issue them. They didn't. It wasn't an on-view arrest. Read the rules of criminal procedure. It's all I can tell you. They weren't wrong. And the reason why that occurred is because the intergovernmental meetings that you're all talking about should have happened months ago. Should have happened way before this police department ever got put in for licensing, if you will. Everybody should have been together on it, and that thing would have sailed right through. Because we'd have been down there supporting them. But that isn't the way it happened. It started political. I don't care what anybody says. It was all over the earth how much money we were going to pay for the police officer to be up at Monroeville Junior High. Monroeville Middle School, I guess it's really called now. I went there. It was Monroeville Junior High. It'll always be Monroeville Junior High.
Me too.
So, all this jibber-jabbering coming up to the podium is all over one SRO. And then they said, we'll show you, and they started their own police department. Couldn't afford 50% on one guy, $300,000 for a police department now. And they rushed into it. Don't care what anybody says, they rushed into it. They didn't get the public view of whether they wanted armed people there, whether they wanted to spend all that tax money. You're right, it's their tax money, my tax money too, but, you know, no opinions, just sit down and meet and rush it through. And if I'm not correct, then why are we talking about a police department that can't issue citations yet? Have no coordination with the current municipal police officer or chief. He's just going along learning things as he goes. That shouldn't be the way it is. So maybe you have the right idea. Maybe it's time to regroup. But I guess that's all we can do. Because they exist, kind of. Nobody knows really what they can do yet. And the Monroeville Police Department, just so everybody knows, acted properly for that summary offense today. because nobody else bothered looking up the rules of criminal procedure and found out how they had to do things. Okay, I'm done with that one.
Continue, Ron.
On a lighter note, I got this